Here we are at 8:30 on a Wednesday night. Thanks for joining us for this weather impact alert update here on Weather Plus, 12 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Dunn, tracking our first real taste of monsoon 2025 so far this year, with a lot of active weather all across the state and impacting the valley as well. We do have a weather impact alert in effect for the valley until 11 o'clock tonight. The main impact of the gusty storms, pockets of heavy rain, some lightning, and also the blowing dust. The blowing dust part is going to settle down for the rest of the evening, and hopefully you'll get some rain. It kind of washes out the sky. Stay with us on 12 News and 12 Plus for all of the updates throughout the rest of this evening. We'll have team coverage coming up tonight at 10 o'clock on Channel 12. We do have some of that dustiness in the sky. You look at the flag there, and it's sticking almost straight out. We have sustained winds southeast at 21 miles per hour at Sky Harbor. And look at the temperature. It's only 87 degrees. We had a high of 109 this afternoon. Also, look at the dew point. That is a measure of how much moisture is in the air at the surface. A 65-degree dew point. That's pretty juicy air for us here in the desert. Our relative humidity at 48%. We had additional wind gust at Sky Harbor at 39 miles per hour. Mesa Gateway Airport had a gust of 48. Chandler Airport gusting to 46. Mesa Falcon Field with 39, and Deer Valley Airport with a gust of 40 miles per hour. Other temperatures around the rest of the valley right now, it's 70 degrees in Maricopa, and that's it. There's plenty of rain nearby. 81 in Chandler, 88 Fountain Hills, 77 Queen Creek, and you've had quite a bit of rain in spots around Queen Creek. 90 in Glendale and 80 in Surprise. Buckeye reporting 98 degrees for some reason, but there's been a lot of rain in Buckeye and a high dew point of 65. 71-degree dew point in Goodyear. That's about as high as we ever see around here. Of course, that's contaminated a little bit by the rain that is falling, but you get the idea. There's some juicy air certainly in place, and that is fuel for thunderstorms, and these storms are feeding on that fuel. A flood advisory for this section of Maricopa County. This is south of Avondale and Goodyear, and south of Buckeye, where there's been a lot of rain. And you'll notice this green line, this thin green line that comes sweeping across the valley. That is an outflow boundary from an earlier thunderstorm northeast of the valley, around Cave Creek and up towards that area, Lake Roosevelt. That pushed across the valley, and it bumped into this other thunderstorm cell that was developing southwest of the valley, and things just went up, and it really blew up in intensity. So all of the action is right here. We started out the day with action around Flagstaff and along the rim back to the White Mountains and down into southeastern Arizona, and everything is kind of condensed and converged upon the valley. This is a somewhat typical scenario for our monsoon, where we have storms that initiate over the higher terrain, and then eventually they kind of collapse and send out these boundaries and these lines, these gust fronts, and that initiates new convection or new storms. And so that's what we're seeing right now. There is a severe thunderstorm warning out here near Buckeye, right along Interstate 10. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:45, so about another 10 minutes or so. And a dust storm advisory along Interstate 10 if you're just getting ready to head out on the highway heading west towards California. Just be mindful of that there will be some rain you'll run into, and also possibly some blowing dust as well. Look at all the rain that is falling over the West Valley right now. The White Tank Mountains right here, and there's Buckeye, and a lot of rain just to the west of where a lot of us live. So it's out there. And we do have, again, pockets of heavier rain that are developing right along the Loop 303. Here's the 101 with State Farm Stadium right there in Glendale. The Loop 303, you're getting some pockets of heavier rain and a lot of lightning, especially just south of Interstate 10. And that's where we do have a flood advisory, a flash flood warning for far, far southern Maricopa County. This is south of Interstate 8, if that gives you an idea of how far south that is. So it's way down there. And a flood watch, in effect, that remains in effect for southern Pinal County and most of Pima County. That's down to the south of Casa Grande. In Casa Grande, you've had quite a bit of rain falling there as well. Up to northwest Arizona, Lake Havasu City, for a time there was a severe thunderstorm warning for that thunderstorm cell approaching Kingman right now. Also through Needles, California, and right along the Colorado River. Some isolated stronger storms moving through Mojave County as we speak in the Kingman area, seeing some of those heavier storms, possibly with some small hail. We've seen some signs on the radar that some of these storms will be producing hail. Into Pinal County, Florence, and Coolidge. Right down in this area, we've had kind of this convergence of some pockets of heavier rain and not necessarily in the far southeast valley, but outside of the valley into northern Pinal County. So still getting that rain falling right now, and most of that rain is sweeping across central Phoenix as we speak. In fact, it was just outside, and the raindrops are big and fat and containing some dust as well. So dirty rain falling in Phoenix right now, as well as up to the north, Cave Creek and towards Lake Pleasant, getting some of that rain. So into tonight, until about 11 o'clock tonight, the most active hours. We're going to keep this thing going for about another 2.5 hours or so. Showers, thunderstorms, blowing dust, a few downpours, and of course that dangerous lightning that is a part of thunderstorms. Be safe. Keep watching us for the latest updates here on 12 Plus and also 12 News. Look at what this has done to our temperatures across the state. We don't have any triple digits at all. Lake Havasu City at 97, 87 in Phoenix, only 76 Casa Grande, 61 in Flagstaff. A lot of these numbers, most of these numbers are rain cooled. 82 in Safford, 77 in Tucson. It's actually cooler in Tucson right now. The reason for the dust is we have these thunderstorms that build up, and then when it rains, it cools off the air and it gets really heavy and rushes down to the desert floor, which is still pretty dry, and so it kicks up a lot of dust. And this is kind of a classic example of what happens where there's a lot of open desert and open space across Pinal County. When those storms develop to the southeast of the valley, it sends in that big dust cloud and puffs of dust all over the place. Here's our high-res Futurecast. This was starting at 8:30, so we're right about now on Wednesday night with some of that rain, not necessarily depicting the wide expanse of rain that we're seeing right now across the valley, but I want to give you an idea of how things are going to transition from where we are now to the overnight and into tomorrow morning. Stopping the clock at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The rain is really shutting off. So we'll see some stray rogue showers through the night, most of it ending by the early morning hours tomorrow, 6, 7 a.m. There may be one or two isolated little showers possible tomorrow, but I think most of the main event is pretty much gone. And then as we get into Friday, an isolated shower far south across central Pima County, but I think most of us will be dry. The valley will be dry, and the northern mountains, the rim country, all dry on the 4th of July. That would be on Friday. Saturday at 2:30 p.m., we're mostly dry, just a few clouds here and there. Speaking of the 4th of July, Lake Havasu City 106, the Valley 105, Payson 88 degrees, Show Low at 83, and Flagstaff 79. We're looking pretty good for the 4th. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Flagstaff area. Just a 20% chance of a shower tomorrow, and then climbing back up into the 80s this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and getting close to 90 degrees by next Wednesday. For the Valley, we're looking at 105. A 20% chance of showers, lingering little spots here and there on Thursday, not nearly as active as it was today. And then for the 4th of July, Independence Day on Friday, 106. 107 is normal for this time of the year. 108 on Saturday, and then back to 110 plus by the end of the weekend. Oh, and by the way, we're into that danger zone once again with extreme heat Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 113, 114, 114. That's why we have a weather impact alert for more extreme heat on the way early next week. In the meantime, we will continue to monitor the storm situation. We will bring you all the latest updates on 12 News at 10. I will see you then. We will have team coverage on everything that's been going on around the valley. We'll talk about the dust, the lightning, the heavy rain. I'll have some of the rainfall reports. I'll bring you some of the latest wind gusts from across the valley and much more. We hope to see you then on 12 News tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm meteorologist Chris Dunn.